Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
What up? Big Herc 916, getting down with Fresh Out Prison Talk. And this story right here, I thought would catch your guys' interest because, man, these male employees at these female facilities, they busting cheeks, man. As reported by Fox 2 News, this story published January 21st of 2022, 4 correctional employees at Dublin Prison, including warden, charged with sex crimes. Dublin, California, 4 correctional employees, including the warden, at the federal all-women's prison in Dublin have been charged by the U.S. Department of Justice with an array of sexual assault crimes and a widened probe that is exposing an apparent abuse of power pattern at a single East Bay facility. Allegations include correctional workers having sex with incarcerated women in shipping containers to taking their naked photos during regular rounds. The 3 correctional officers are still currently employed with the Bureau of Prisons, a spokeswoman confirmed. The warden retired 3 months ago. The serious charges from so many employees at one facility have gotten the attention of lawmakers at the highest level. I'm deeply concerned about the allegations of abuse at FCI Dublin, and I'm glad the FBI and federal prosecutors are holding accountable those responsible, said U.S. Representative Eric Swalwell, who represents the Dublin area. I look forward to hearing more from the Justice Department's Office of the Inspector General regarding the full extent of the problem. The allegations come amidst the backdrop of a larger federal prison system that has been rife with corruption and misconduct. 3 months ago, the Associated Press reported that more than 100 Bureau of Prisons workers have been arrested, convicted, or sentenced for crimes since 2019, as the agency turned a blind eye to misconduct allegations. A representative from FCI Dublin did not comment on the situation. While we appreciate the request, we respectfully decline the offer for an interview, the spokesperson wrote in an email. However, in general, the spokesperson said that the Bureau of Prisons takes very seriously our duty to protect individuals entrusted in our custody, as well as maintain the safety of correctional staff and the community. Low Security Women's Prison. FCI Dublin holds 700 incarcerated women who are considered low security. It is one of the country's 122 federal prisons and one of 5 all-women prisons in the federal system. Actresses Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin spent their time there for involvement in the College Admissions bribery scandal. Other famous inmates over the years have included publishing heir Patty Hearst and Hollywood madam Heidi Fleiss. The prison opened in 1974 and was converted to an all-female facility in 2012. It is adjacent to Alameda County's Santa Rita Jail. Prison chaplain accused of sexual abuse of ward. The latest criminal charges against an officer in the Bay Area were made public on Tuesday. Federal prosecutors charged James Theodore Highhorse, a correction worker and chaplain, with the felonies including sexual abuse of a ward at FCI Dublin, having abusive sexual contact, then making false statements about his behavior. The charging documents allege that Highhouse had sexual intercourse and oral sex with a woman identified as Li from May 15, 2018 to February 9, 2019. Less than 2 weeks later, on February 21, 2019, Highhouse allegedly lied to the FBI and Office of Inspector General, telling investigators he hadn't had any sexual relations with the women. Highhouse is only the latest Dublin prison employee to face sex charges. Ward in charge having women stripped naked for him and nude photos. In the last 6 months, 3 Others at FCI Dublin have been charged by the DOJ as well, including prison warden Ray J. Garcia, 55, of Merced, California. In September 2021, federal prosecutors accused him of sexually assaulting one woman, sexually harassing another, and keeping naked pictures of one of the women on his work computer. Federal prosecutors alleged that at one point, Garcia requested that at least 2 women strip naked for him while he was doing his rounds. Garcia allegedly took pictures of a woman naked in a cell, then showed her pictures of his private parts, court documents state. He also kept several nude pictures of one of the women on his personal computer, court documents allege. Garcia then allegedly tried to prevent the woman from coming forward, telling her that he was close friends with the person responsible for investigating allegations of misconduct by inmates, adding that he could not be fired, according to an FBI affidavit filed with the court. Garcia was placed on administrative leave in July of 2021 in connection with the investigation. It was that same month the woman's attorney first brought sexual assault allegations to the Department of Justice attention. For 2 years before his arrest, Garcia led training on the Prison Rape Elimination Act and trained all newly arrived supervisors on these procedures and policies. How ironic. Garcia's attorney, James Thomas Riley of San Rafael, did not immediately respond for comment. Garcia retired on October 31st, 2021. Prison Safety Administrator asked woman to be lookout during sexual encounters. 2 months earlier, in November 2021, John Russell Bellhouse, 39, of Pleasanton, who had been a safety administrator at the prison, appeared in federal court to face the charge of sexual abuse of a prison ward at FCI Dublin. Federal prosecutors alleged that in 2020, he began to express an interest in a particular woman at the prison and started calling her his girlfriend. He allegedly provided her with earrings and allowed her to use an office phone. The two allegedly had sexual encounters, court documents state, and sometimes they had another incarcerated person acting as a lookout. In March of 2021, Bellhouse was put on paid administrative leave. Last week, his attorney, Shafi Mole, asked that Bellhouse be allowed to go to Colorado if his mother signs a $50,000 bond for him to appear for court hearings. A judge is expected to hear his request on January 24th. Mole did not respond for comment. Correctional officer has sex with women in shipping and storage containers. And in the first case to break at FCI Dublin, federal prosecutors charged Ross Klinger, 36, of Riverside, who also was a recycling technician at the prison, in June 2021 with knowingly having sexual intercourse with at least one incarcerated woman in a storage warehouse. After he transferred to a different prison in San Diego, Klinger then allegedly kept in touch with the woman using the alias Juan Garcia and communicated with her through email and video visits, court documents allege. Klinger also gave money to her mother and visited her family, including her young children, court documents allege. He was also sexually involved with a second woman with whom he had sex with in a shipping container while her friend kept lookout, prosecutors charged. After she was released to a halfway house, prosecutors allege Klinger kept texting her and sending her Snapchat messages. Klinger also proposed to her with a diamond ring, court documents state. The alleged abuses occurred from April to October 2020. Court records show that Klinger was allowed to wait for his court hearings at home and then leave his house for a new job. Court documents do not state where Klinger is now working. Klinger is being represented by John Paul Rockmuth of the Federal Public Defender's Office in Oakland, who did not respond to comment. Klinger's next court hearing is scheduled for January 31st. Prosecutors say prison officials must not take advantage of power. Federal prosecutors said it's upsetting when the powerful take advantage of their positions and they must be held to account. Prison officials are given great power over incarcerated individuals and are trusted to use that power to ensure the care, safety, and control of the people placed under the government supervision. Acting U.S. Attorney Stephanie Hens said at the time, "The abuse of powers echoes through the entire criminal justice system and threatens to compromise the public's trust in the system's legitimacy." Hines continued, the allegations describe a disturbing deviation from the responsibilities of correctional officers. Such an abuse of power will not be tolerated. I'm telling you, man, it goes down behind those walls, and while you're in there, you got to do what you have to survive. And I've talked to male correctional officers that work temporarily at women's facilities, and they said, man, when they go around for count, there'll be all type of sideshows going on in the cells. And the one brother told me, he said, man, he had to get up out of there because he didn't want to violate his oath as a correctional officer because it was so tempting. So, you know, when you're talking about a female facility and male guards, it's bound to happen, man. It's no different than having 1,000 or something men look at a female who gets no attention on the street, and she feels somebody now is into her, and she gets caught up. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. And it's the human nature. I mean, these people, I mean, the warden himself was teaching a class on prison rape, and here he is, and they're doing his thing. This is a guy leading the movement. How ironic is that, man? The people who most scream at the top of the mountain are the ones who are doing the most dirt. Believe that. The game is flipped, you know. These people in high places, they got some way out kinks. They're into some real freaky stuff. I know because I've heard, and I know people in that whole S&M world who have told me stories, and dude, you wouldn't believe, man, what these people are into. And yet they go and they split wigs in court on a daily, sending people to, you know, decades in a tomb. But yeah, this is something that was brought to my attention by a fan, and so I thought I'd share it with you because it's not going to get any media attention. But this is FCI Dublin, and I've been there, you know. I was there, I want to say in 2004 or 5, because it used to be a holding facility when you were, you know, being transported, and guys used to try to talk to the girls through the toilets, and you know, they had women working in there. I mean, it was the closest you got to a female if you've been down. And dude, it was exciting to try to talk to a female, to hopefully, you know, get somebody to give you some type of conversation. I mean, if you're a guy, you're in prison, and you got a female in prison, shit, you risk anything to bust her cheeks. That's real talk. So, yeah, you know, they changed it into an all women's facility after I'd already got released. But, you know, even the females I ran across in the halfway house, you know, you got guys in there working at the halfway house who are trying to flirt with them, knowing that they're had limited, you know, resources and things of that nature. And they, you know, if they're hot, they try to take advantage of it. And this was the same way with the women working there. There is a woman, I worked at the facility before I got there, that got fired because she's messing around with a guy in the halfway house because he was putting that Mac game down, you know. So it's a natural happening in that environment. Just putting you up on some game, man, keeping you laced up. Big Herc 916, getting down with prison talk. I'm Big Herc, and I have over a decade of experience in the prison system. Yeah, I've done a lot of time, made a lot of stupid mistakes, but that's why I'm here with you today educating you on the Mastermind program by Fresh Out. See, they don't give you a manual when you go to jail on how to survive. They don't tell you how to go take a shower, where to sit at when you go to chow, what to do when you have mail call, how to handle your commissary. See, we cover that and a multitude of other topics that are very important, because if you do the wrong thing, you can get your damn wig split. We have over 100 million views as of date on our YouTube channel, but we've put and condensed all this knowledge into this Mastermind program so that you can provide your client with a winning chance. Do yourself a favor and your client a favor and sign them up for our program so they don't have to get their wig split and they can make it out alive.